Podcasting to the world. It's the CK Mornings In Case You Missed It podcast with Chris, Alana, and Matt. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. From our mouths to your ears, here's what you missed.
Today's the day of our Christmas Doesn't Have to Stink drive-through drop-off, and kind of fitting that this is a story. A Russian spacecraft docked with the International Space Station over the weekend. They were bringing supplies to the space station. They brought more than supplies. They brought a nasty stank.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they dock at the International Space Station. The cargo ship arrives on Saturday. 3 tons of food, fuel, supplies for those on the International Space Station. They open the hatch between the pod and the space station, and it stunk. A noxious smell and droplets coming from the cargo ship. They immediately closed the hatch, fearing a possible contamination.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
Oh.
You don't want contamination up there.
Yeah,
No.
something rotten or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You're in a space shuttle or a space pod or the space station. There's not a lot of fresh air coming in.
No, there's nowhere you can go. You don't want to stink in the space station.
Did somebody toot in the pod?
I never
Is that
thought
what
about
happened?
that. How terrible, because you can't blame it on anything else.
I think it's worse. You're probably farting in your spacesuit.
And then it floats back up to your little face part.
There's no air getting out of that suit. That would be horrible. Regardless, the stink was there, and they closed her down right away, and they had to don protective equipment and air scrubbing systems to try to scrub the space station's atmosphere from contamination.
What if you were the guy that farted, then you have to play it off and go along with the whole thing? You're watching them close the hatch and everything.
Hi, guys. What is that? Close the hatch.
Close it. What is that? I have no idea.
It's the dog. It's the dog. There was no dog on there. It's the dog. Come on. You ever walk into someone's house and you instantly get smacked right in the face with a smell?
It's tough because every house has their own smell, and you don't really know what smell your house gives off.
And if you get close to somebody for the first time, that's on them, right? And the person with the aroma doesn't know because it's just their life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's,
true. Yeah, you get desensitized to that for sure.
Yeah, it's like when you have bacon. Like you make bacon in your house. I find it just lingers. I can't have people over. If I make bacon in the house, it's going to be there for a day or two. It's just a smell. Or pancakes. Pancakes have a smell.
Any kind of
takes over the house.
grease or garlic and onion.
Yes.
I'll cook a garlic and onion meal at 5 o'clock. I go to bed at 10. I still smell it a little. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, that's why Matt and I haven't docked our pod to your station yet. We open the door.
Close the
Nauseous
hatches.
odor. Whoa, lock her up. Get the air scrubbers going in here.
Air scrubbers.
What a smell. You went to see Wicked last night.
I did a Tuesday night movie, which is very rare. But
Is it still cheap night on Tuesdays?
Yeah. That's why my mom wanted to go on
okay.
the Tuesday, I think. And it was busy. So I saw Wicked, a late afternoon, early evening showing. So busy when we got there, we had to go in the first row.
Ugh.
I
would've
know.
left.
In hindsight, I was like, we should have gone another day because sitting in the first row, I feel like I missed half the movie. I couldn't see the visuals.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande was distorted because the screen curves a little, right?
Right.
So I felt like one side of her was big, the other side was small. I couldn't see some of the visual aspects of the film because I was so close. My neck and my eyes were dry by the end of it. But overall, it was good.
Did you go down? You were in Windsor with your mom.
Yeah, Lakeshore Cinemas.
Okay, I
if
was
you're
going to
familiar
say
with that one.
Okay,
the new one.
I know, the
Landmark.
Landmark Cinemas. I kind of want to check that one out at some point, but
Didn't. Okay.
we went to Lakeshore. So, yeah, it was very, very busy. I went in blind because I didn't know much about the story. I really had no idea, and I can't compare it to the musical. But I thought it was honestly really, really good. I enjoyed it. 2 hours and 40 minutes, which I griped about yesterday. Definitely some parts, it's okay, it's dragging on a little bit, let's go. You didn't need to make that a song and dance number. You could have just moved along there. Overall, though, for that runtime, it went by fast enough. I know we also griped about it only being part one, because at the very end it finishes and then it says to be continued.
Yeah.
And it was a movie everyone clapped at the end. Which,
What?
Oh yeah, the whole
Seriously?
theater was
Somebody landed the plane and they did the plane
Oh,
clap?
my
I clapped
goodness.
too. I got in on it. I'm like, yeah, it was great. So it was part one. I feel like they did a good job of not ending too much of a cliffhanger. I will feel fulfilled even if I don't see part two, which I don't even know when part two comes out. Probably
You
at
should
least
get your
a
seat
year.
now so you don't have to sit in the front.
Apparently. But the story story was compelling. It was a very visual movie too, so I imagine I couldn't see much from the first row. But
Matt's he's like right on the edge of his seat for this. I told you I didn't even know it was a musical. So
yeah, so it's so funny. I'd like to see what I know Matt's probably not going to see it, but what you would think compared to the musical, because I have no clue. I imagine they added a lot if it's 3 hours for part one alone, right?
Yeah. So
the
did
musical's
they?
not that long.
Without giving away too much.
Yeah.
Did they end on Defying Gravity? Like, was
Oh
that
yeah,
one?
she did her
yeah,
whole
okay. Well, that's
gravity.
okay.
So is there more to it after that? Like, part of me is like, what else can you tell?
Well,
Like,
now the big turn comes, right?
okay,
because,
okay.
I don't want to give away too much again, but like she kind of accepts who she is now.
Okay,
and she
interesting.
kind of like really lives into that character that she's gonna be now.
They did great, and I'll just say, mentally, I feel like I'm in Oz right now. I want to live there. It was just beautiful.
Nice.
Like, what a land. Good time. And I also want to say, I hope in my next life I come back as a musical theater person. It just looks so fun. I just want to.
It does look fun.
Doesn't it look so fun? Ariana Grande looked like she's just singing and dancing, doing little ditties. Like, everything's so dramatic and over the top. I'm like, that looks so fun. I would just love to be on that movie set. What I wouldn't do.
Dalton sends in a text, says it was amazing, a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Maybe a few.
That's all I can add here.
A few
'cause I don't know
points
anything
docked.
you're
Yes,
talking
thank
about.
you, Dalton. A few points docked. It could have been tightened a little and shortened, but overall, yeah, 8 out of 10. Pretty good. No singing in the theaters. I know I talked about that
Okay,
yesterday.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
people
yeah.
are singing in the theaters.
Right.
There was none of that, just clapping. And overall, good vibes. I liked it. We recommend.
Tell me when to push the button because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about this Wicked.
Should I
So.
end on Defying Gravity?
Yeah.
Defying
Oh, if you're gonna start singing, I'm pushing this button. Goodbye. That's got the crime beat, the wacky, weird underbelly of the local crime scene. Matt, what have you got to report on this week?
All right, we'll start out of town just so we'll work our way back here, but this one's really struck me. It was struck me. That's a good one. Actually, an unintentional pun here. Santa Claus parades are supposed to be happy and fun occasions. I was at the Chatham Santa Claus parade. It was a good time. I'm looking forward to maybe attending the Tilbury one as well. Luckily, I didn't go to St. Thomas. Police say a 62-year-old woman was arrested and charged in St. Thomas after she allegedly punched someone in the face and knocked them to the ground at their Santa Claus parade.
What?
Yeah. Officers say the fight erupted over one family's view being blocked.
Oh, that's a thing. That is a thing.
Yep. Wow, so much
Wow.
hostility.
No kidding, though, eh? 62-year-old woman. She's like, get out of my
had
way.
enough.
62-year-old
Yeah.
clocked her.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been a hard punch, though, right?
I'm just
Never
wondering,
know.
like, what kind of blocking happened? Like, was she set up already and somebody set up in front of her?
That happens, though. I've seen that. I've witnessed that. I've never seen the punch, but I've seen, you're set up and then somebody just plops themselves right in front
Yeah,
of you.
you're
Yeah.
there. You go early just to get a good spot, and someone shows up
Yeah.
at the last minute and just stands in front of you.
I might be with the puncher on this one.
I need to see the circumstances here.
Exactly.
Probably had her grandkids with her. They couldn't see.
That's just
and
it.
she had to
Exactly.
defend
Yeah.
them.
Exactly. Yeah, you stepped in front of my grandkid.
Oh, you don't do that.
No. Grandma's coming at you with a left hook.
Grandma could have beat Tyson last week.
Oh yeah.
All right, next one here. We got some snow in the forecast, so I thought this was worth mentioning. We had our first snowfall last week. I don't know if you remember that. A 9-vehicle pileup on the 401 near
Yeah.
Ridgetown. So this is just a reminder. Man, that was a small snow squall, but people, please, like, just...
We're Canadians. We're supposed to know
man.
what to do.
It's just... I hope we got the first one out of the way so people sort of got those first snowfall jitters out of the way, but man, oh man.
It happens, and we're just, completely clueless how to deal with it. Just no idea. Like, ah!
I know, and that was such a fairly light snow
Yeah,
compared to
no
what
kidding.
it could be.
I know. Wild. The next one here I have is a local grocery store on St. Clair Street in Chatham. Police were called there on Saturday afternoon. A man attempted to steal meat for a second time. Yeah, and I started thinking about nicknames. Is he the Hamburglar? Sausage Fingers? Jack the Ribber? The Bologna Bandit? I'm actually...
So many options.
Exactly. He did drop the meat as he was confronted, so I'm tempted to go with Sausage Fingers because that kind of leads me to believe he
Oh,
might
they
be a
didn't
little...
catch him.
No, well, they caught him later,
Oh.
but he dropped the meat first and took
So
off.
what you're saying for a while there, he was on the ham. Alana, did you hear that? On the ham?
I heard it loud and
you
clear.
just didn't hear reaction, so I was waiting for the loud.
And then last one we have here, I'll just move on. Last one we have was, we did it, guys. We drew enough attention to the fungi's illegal mushroom shops.
Yeah?
They shut down all their physical locations across Ontario now.
Wow.
So they had that one in Chatham that was downtown, and then that got busted a couple times. Moved over to St. Clair Street. Well, they closed down for good, and now Fun Guys, the illegal mushroom sellers, are going to be moving it to online only now.
In time for Christmas? Am I still doing my shopping?
If you want to, yeah, I don't recommend it, but
hey, it makes great stocking stuff. I'm kidding. Do not do that. Go with meat instead. Yeah, pepperoni sticks. That's a much better angle for you. Morena McDonald joins us on the line to talk about last night's budget. No, we're not going to do that to you, Morena. We'll let you go on that one. Mayor Canniff's in next hour. He'll handle the budget conversation.
Oh, great.
We want to talk to you about the Dresden Christmas Night Market, which is back and it's ready to go for Saturday night. How close have you been keeping an eye on that weather forecast?
You know, I used to really keep an eye on it. I've learned to not look at it too much. It's kind of stressful, but it looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's such a staple now on the calendar. How many years for the Christmas Night Market?
We started this in 2017, but took a pause a few years back. But so I guess it's around 7 years.
Yeah, it's such a thing. You don't miss it. For those that are new to Chatham, Kent, though, and you see them, explain what the Dresden Night Market is.
So a really great way to explain it with a photo is our aerial photography. It's where you can see that the entire downtown is blocked off. It's filled with vendors. The stores are even open late. Tons of people come. There's food trucks and, of course, lots of Christmas decorations thanks to a local community group, Dresden Shines.
And there's a lot of people that come to this event. Do you have any rough numbers of how many people attend every year?
We know it's thousands. We don't really keep track only because it's a downtown. It's really difficult to block the roads and then have someone count and make sure they're not double counting. But again, the aerial photography gives us a great idea of how many people there are.
So what do we need to know if we're going out on Saturday to the night market? What are a couple things we need to know?
So parking is the big question that people have, but because it is in a town, there's street parking just about everywhere. And there's bigger parking lots on the north and south side. If you visit our website, night-market.ca, there's explanations of where those are. But all those parking lots and parking locations are pretty close to downtown. It's only a few short minutes away of a walk. The other thing to note is that this is our biggest market yet, so we'll have over 150 vendors. We've never had that many before, and we've increased our footprint downtown. So it's even bigger than years past if you've been before.
And obviously it costs money to buy food and stuff like that, but otherwise it's free to just go and roam and check out the vibes and check everything out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Someone emailed me. They were asking if there's tickets, and no, it's completely free admission. So although you can buy lots of things, you don't have to. You can experience the Christmas vibe just by showing up and enjoying.
Yeah, and there's food, there's drink, there's adult drinks available too.
Yeah, we have a pop-up bar, and something cool about that is we have reusable cups. So if you have one from a previous year, bring it back. You can reuse it. But if not, we'll have some available.
Yeah, night-market.ca. It's happening on Saturday, and then Dresden dresses itself up too. It's like Christmas Town.
Christmas Town, yeah.
Yeah, and they do such a great job. Is there anything else we should mention, Morena? If you had never been, you need to at least go once, and then you're going to come back multiple times.
Yeah, as much as it's about shopping, we also have some surprise performers. That'll happen in the intersection at 5 and 7 p.m. We'll also have live DJs and a blacksmithing demonstration, which is new this year.
That's cool. And I guess we should probably say, what time does this all get rolling?
Oh, yeah. It starts at 3 o'clock and goes right till 8.
3 o'clock, Dresden. You can't miss it. Get downtown for the Dresden Night Market, the Christmas Market, night-market.ca, or find out more on Facebook. Morena, get some sleep. Thanks for talking to us this morning.
And well, thank you so much for having me.
You know what else started?
What's that?
Can you feel it? You guys feeling a little weird? Mercury's back at it. Retrograde.
Oh, okay. Great.
I am happy
Wonderful.
to report it's the last Mercury retrograde of 2024.
How often does this happen?
3 to 4 times a year. So
Okay.
it's going on until mid-December. We got a few weeks.
Jeez.
The next one is until March. So you can
It lasts
soak
that long, too?
Oh, yeah. A couple weeks.
You don't feel it, man?
Mercury just can't spin
I
out
don't
a
know.
retrograde that quickly. So
What
if
does this mean?
Well, okay, so it's where the planet Mercury, it's an optical illusion. It looks like it's moving backwards in its orbit, something to do with speeds of the Earth and Mercury. I don't go that deep into it, but it's an optical illusion. But the ancient astronomers, very smart guys, they believe that Mercury ruled communication and your thought process. So you can imagine when Mercury's spinning backwards, that's why everything's
Feel it.
out of whack. So these astronomers believe that it caused misunderstandings and disruptions to
So
your
this is what I can
plans and
blame
your
things
thoughts.
on for the next month.
Yeah, because that's the big joke online. Mercury retrograde. Like, no wonder everything's going a heck in a handbasket because it's Mercury retrograde. No wonder I feel out of whack. So as I normally do during these 3 to 4 times a year Mercury retrograde, I've got specific to you guys and your zodiac sign of what this means for you guys.
Okay.
Well, Matt, I'm happy to report. It says this time will be like a dream come true for you.
Wow.
It's all about abundance, health, and family harmony. Everything feels like it's falling into place. Take a moment to appreciate how much is already working in your favor. Somebody lucked out with Mercury going
That's
backwards.
a good deal, yeah.
Can you feel it?
No, I'm starting to feel it now.
Yeah, but now you like Mercury retrograde. Now you're not laughing at.
Starting to recognize the signs now.
Mine wasn't so optimistic. Stress and overthinking, Gemini. Stress and overthinking might be keeping you up at night. Stop imagining worst case scenarios. Mercury retrograde isn't the time to dwell on problems. Shoot. Instead, take care of yourself, and once the chaos settles, you'll be ready to face the challenges with a clear mind.
That seems like that's a nail hitting the hammer.
That seems like
Hammer
I need
hitting
to
the
take
nail,
some
yeah.
days off. I
Bam,
gotta focus
right
on myself. And Chris, yours says this time reminds you to watch how your emotions affect people around you. Mercury retrograde can make communication tricky, so be mindful of how your words might come across. Take a moment to explore what's behind your words and feelings.
Did Kate send you that?
Yeah,
She sent that to you.
I should start doing that.
Really? My
That's
emotions.
what it says.
I'm always a ray of sunshine.
You have to be mindful of your words. I know you're very sweet with your words, always, but
I did say something yesterday. I got to apologize for you. I'll do it off the
it
air.
was Mercury. Just tell her.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's
spinning.
retrograde. Don't you think you're all right over there, Matt?
Yeah, that's
I'm all good. It's all good over here.
Everything's
Floating.
falling into place for Matt.
He's riding Mercury like a racehorse. I'm over here spinning out of control with
Oh,
my...
I can't sleep at night. Come on.
We're a mess. Wednesday, we check in with Chatham Kent Mayor Darrin Canniff, who is at a location today. He was just telling us off air all about it. It is the River Vibe Wellness and Event Center. He's on location today. Where are you at?
I have the privilege to getting out and celebrating a lot of grand openings. When I got to this one, I said, I got to talk about this. This is amazingly cool. We're at the River Vibe Wellness and Event Center. We're right behind the bandshell in Tecumseh Park.
Okay.
And it's an amazing backyard. And when you go in here, I asked them for the elevator speech. And I said, what is it? Because they do so many things here. And it's a holistic wellness facility offering services for body, mind, and energetic balance. So when you come in here, but it's an event center. So if you want to just do something, you're not going to have 500 people here, but you can have 100 people here, and it's a beautiful backyard right on the river. And they offer hypnosis, healing, wellness practitioners, yoga, dance, and fitness classes, gym facility, workshops, docking facilities. If you want to access the Thames, and event venue. So it's one of those new things that we're always looking for new things to do in Chatham. And certainly wellness is top of mind for many people. So this is one of those cool things. When I walk in, when it talks about a vibe, it has a vibe here.
It's got a vibe. Nice. As we're speaking, I'm liking it on Facebook, River Vibe Wellness and Event Center. So we don't want to keep you from your yoga class too long. So let's get into it. I know you were up late last night. Matt, you've got the first question here.
Yeah, for sure. Just want to know. So the budget sounds like it came down a little bit last night. A couple cuts were introduced. Kind of where are we at right now, and how long do you expect these talks to go on? Because I know you have a number of dates set aside for it, but how close are we to getting that thing finalized?
Well, yes. So we ended up cutting it off right at 10 o'clock. So we went 4 hours last night. It's down to 5.1%. And so you're exactly right when you were talking about the news this morning. But I want to just backtrack just for 30 seconds of how we got here. So we were sitting at 5.96. We got down to 5.1. But I want to break out specifically within there. There's three categories. So we started with 1.84% for operations. So that's doing everything we're doing. We were looking at increasing taxes by 1.84%. Inflation's 2.5%. So operationally, but there's two other things, big drivers. It's capital. We have $7 billion worth of assets in the municipality that we have to keep up, and that's absolutely huge. The cost of doing of that is doubled in the last 10 years. So 2% of that budget is to increase capital spending, particularly for roads, bridges, sewers. We don't think about sewers, but there's a huge cost of that. So 2%. And then the other 2% is to deal with homelessness and mental health, that we're spending another 2%. So that's something 5 years ago we didn't even contemplate as a municipality, as a province. We weren't thinking much about it. Over the last 5 years, but those last two things are things that we really need help from the federal and provincial government. Those are mandates that they should be helping with. And that's where we're separating those out, because we are actively lobbying the province and the federal government to get funds for those other pieces. So we're down about 0.8, 0.9, and you asked, when are we going to finish this? Oh, we got another meeting tonight and another meeting scheduled tomorrow night. So we may very well wrap it up tonight. There's not much more to go through. There's a few more cuts we're going to talk about. But, if you're going to ask me to look into the crystal ball, it'll probably fall into the 4-point-something range. And that's below what Windsor's doing, what London's doing, below the average of when you look across the province. So,
Mayor Canniff, you would said a couple of those numbers there, the maintaining services, the capital, blah, 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 blah. It would take a very drastic cut in a service in one of our capital assets to get that down significantly. Is that what I read? Like it would be somebody had to put a big drastic cut out on the table.
Yes. So to put in perspective, we've cut nearly almost $9.5 million out of the budget. So the stuff that we've done, but we're at the point now where you start saying we need to cut services, and we've heard quite clearly from the community as a whole that they don't want cuts to the services. So that's what we're very cognizant of going through and making sure that there's that balance. And it's strategically look forward and saying, what do we want to be as a community as we move forward? And we need to invest in that. So you're right that it would take a drastic cut. With inflation at 2.6% or 7%, that's what we expect the cost to go up everywhere. And so we're working hard to make that balance at council.
So if some councillors said, "Hey, I'm going to propose we dispose of whatever arena and the convention center and this," like that's something that could come out. That would be a drastic. And I'm not saying it's happening. I'm not pointing fingers at any of those things. I'm just saying something along those lines would have to be done to get us down to something we could stomach.
Even if you say, let's sell the Bradley Center, well, we'll save $300,000 a year. So just put that in perspective. But, the Bradley Center, it gives us so many opportunities.
Yeah.
So you look at everything, every cut, to say cut service, you say, but look at what this does for the community. This is part of the fiber of our community as we go through each of these assets, each of these services we provide. That's what makes Chatham-Kent so special.
All right, just questions, and I know people are asking them, and I know families are sitting on the table saying, like, how can we up the taxes again? But these are the conversations. Talk to your counselors. Talk to Mayor Canniff if you got a question.
And the other piece is just, when's the last time the federal provincial governments have raised taxes? They haven't, because they've effectively been downloading onto municipalities for the last several years through a lot of what they're doing. We are forced to raise taxes and property taxes. Their taxes go up every year just with the economy. When inflation goes up, their sales tax goes up by the same amount. Their income tax goes up as wages go up. Ours don't change. So we have to. That's our only way of doing it. And as infrastructure costs go through the roof, that's the only way we can deal with it. And that happens right across the province. It's not just happening in Chatham-Kent.
We could get deep in the weeds here, and obviously the conversations will continue tonight, but I know that's what people are thinking. So let's get on something a little lighter. Alana, you go ahead.
Pivoting a little. So this is something announced a few days ago, a partnership with the University of Windsor. So break that down. Explain what that means for people here in Chatham-Kent.
So we've been working for a while with the University of Windsor. We signed an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. And what that means effectively is that we're agreeing that we want to work together to enhance post-secondary education in Chatham-Kent. And so we're going to be looking at anything and everything. We met right afterwards, and we're talking about a number of initiatives, ultimately, from little things to, bringing various students here to develop relationships and to develop skill sets, right through physical presence. That at some point the University of Windsor will be here. Well, they're working here now through the college, and we want to. The college is amazing in our community. We look at them to be partnering with us and University of Windsor to bring things to Chatham-Kent. Post-secondary education is so important in a community. It's great to see that we're going to be expanding that.
All right, let's talk about what's happening here today. Chatham Goodfellows are here at the radio station, 117 Kyle. It's our Christmas Doesn't Have to Stink drive-through drop-off. The Goodfellows have been doing work in our community for 70 years. And it's an important part. When you talk about the fabric of our community, the Goodfellows are a big part of that through the holidays.
Well, look, you can't ask for any more of a fabric than Goodfellows. I go to their annual meeting every year, and the crazy thing is they have over 2,000 volunteers every year. They service over 1,600 families last year. Think about that, 1,600 families. They've went and raised a bunch of money and made sure that their Christmas is being taken care of. 2,000 people that sacrifice their time and to do some amazing things, but it's the fabric. And so Goodfellows, it's just an absolutely amazing organization. I look forward to December 2nd when that's when a lot of the volunteers are going to come to your door Monday. They're going to have a red apron on and just say, can you help support Goodfellows? Help support those that need it. So Monday, make sure you're home. We don't have a council meeting that night. Just to make sure that everybody's home and be attentive and answer the door that night.
Or a counselor or somebody could join the CK Mornings team and come out and join us and
There
do
you
some
go.
canvassing.
Well, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
If I'm sure that if you tapped on every door in Chatham-Kent, most people would say, yeah, I want to support the Goodfellows. I mean, 70 years. Think about it. 70 years they've been doing it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the demand for their service is increasing.
Every year. ChathamGoodfellows.ca. Mayor Canniff, next Wednesday we'll chat again, and hopefully you're not still in a budget meeting.
That's well, good vibes to everybody today. How
Yes,
about
for sure. Over at the River Vibe Wellness and Event Center. Mayor Canniff, thanks for your time.
that? Have a great day, everybody.
I've got a round of Ask the Dads. This is a question I normally call my dad and ask him, but I'm bringing it to you guys.
Okay.
So my first winter living alone, left to my own devices, I've been freezing the last couple of nights. I haven't turned the heat on yet, and it's frigid in my place. I'm too scared to turn the heater on because it smells so much like burning every time when I try to turn it on. Is this normal after the summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, how normal is normal, though? I feel like it smells too intense.
Completely
of burning.
normal.
The first time you turn it
Yeah.
on, it always smells really bad.
I'm
Yeah.
still too scared. How long is it supposed to smell for?
Yeah, about 3 years. No, it's gonna be like a couple. It'll be gone before you know
Yeah,
it.
it should be like a day or
No,
so.
I've tried it once and it was
No,
overwhelming. And
Don't
I'm like, forget
turn your
it.
heat on. Do not turn your heat on. That's what any good dad would say: is do not leave the heat on. Matt, don't tell her.
No.
She's gonna go all winter.
When I tell you, I was like, okay, I can get away with it for a while. I don't want to do it yet. Last night, this morning, I couldn't even get out of bed because I was so cold. I was like rigor mortis. I was like, I'm freezing. It's too cold. I got to figure it out. And I got 2 heaters I got to turn on, and they stink.
I don't think this segment should be called Ask the Dads. I think it should be Ask Your Landlord.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be the step.
No.
No, it will stink. It'll have a smell the first little
Yeah.
bit.
I looked it up online. Some people said their fire alarms go off because the dust burns off.
Really?
Which,
Oh.
if that happens, I'm never turning my heat on again.
Then you better dust more too. if
Yeah, that
that's the
seems
problem.
like a problem, yeah.
Yeah.
My heater is such a dumb thing to like. I don't even know if you can open it and get
What
in there.
What is it? Is it like a
It's an
baseboard
old-
heaters or?
yeah, like an electric baseboard, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
It's a 2-in-1 cooling and heating kind
Oh.
of job.
Oh, okay.
I think it's really old. I
What-
never dusted it since I lived there, so that tells you.
Just go in. You can probably pop the top off, vacuumer,
Yeah.
get all the dust out of her, and then turn it on. You'll be laughing. You got to do it. It's going to happen at some point. Your
Yeah,
poor
no
cat is
kidding.
at home right now.
No, I'm not kidding.
Let's start
She's-
about this cat. This cat that needed someone to sit and watch it. It's got psychic readings, but you also don't want to turn the heat on.
Yeah.
I do feel bad. The other day I couldn't find her. She's under the blanket, burrowed under the bed.
Yeah.
She's probably like, "What are you doing?
No kidding.
Take me back to the shelter." This is.
-3 this morning with the wind chill.
It was so cold, but it's not even just burning. It's like the worst burning smell you can imagine.
Here's a dad weighing in. Jason, who is an HVAC tech, says
Ooh.
it's just the dust burning off. Brand new furnaces smell worse as they burn the oil off the new heat exchangers when they fire up first. That's exactly, Jason, thank you. I got a
There
new
you go.
furnace, maybe it was 3 years ago, but they set it up, they leave, and I'm like, something's wrong. It stinks.
Oh,
And
really?
It's the oil burning off the new heat exchangers. Like, yeah, it
They
makes
got to
it
get a
so-
new system. I mean,
Wow, that just tells you it's working.
I think it's alarming. If you don't know and you turn it on and it's burning smell,
Like, that's the sign, though. That's the sign of, it's a sign of winter because, like, it's usually a Saturday morning in my house when you wake up and you go, brr, it's cold. You turn the furnace on, and then you smell it for the first time. Yeah.
Because
Like,
I'm scared
ugh.
I'm going to be the one who's like, oh, it's just normal. And then next thing I know,
No,
the whole
you'll be
place
fine.
is ablaze. Be like, oh, it wasn't normal.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Turn it on. Think your cat's probably in a frozen block of ice right now.
Exactly.
Literally, probably.
Like-
It's brutal.
You got a cat sickle sitting at the end of your bed.
Listen online every weekday morning at 943CKSY.com. Weekends on in case you missed it, or tune into the podcast weekdays. Subscribe, rate, review, and tell your friends all about the CK Mornings in case you missed it podcast.